Hey everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here. It is the weekend again, November 30th. This, of course, the weekend video. We'll go over what happened last week in the market, do a quick recap, and then we'll take a look ahead and see what we got coming up this week. And speaking of coming up this week, I've got less than 24 hours. I'm going to be on a plane heading down to Colombia to join a bunch of our moderators and traders of the BBT community. It's going to be a great week. We're going to trade from down there, broadcast live from down there. So should be a good week. But anyway, let's get down to the weekend video and see how things transpired here in the markets. Okay, as always, we start out with a quick review of what happened last week in the markets. Of course, it was a shortened trading week. 3 days, Monday to Wednesday. Thursday was a day off, and then Friday half day. But just during this shortened trading week, we definitely continued to see the market move higher. PCE data, which came out, was in line with estimates. And, optimism just remains high around AI and the potential for improving margins and corporate profits next year. So we just continue to get a grind higher into the end of November there. As you can see here with the indexes, the Dow, the Q, the SPY, IWM, all up sort of in that 1.5% range. So the bulls are happy. The consumer discretionary and healthcare were the biggest gainers this week, and that was good because healthcare is a sector that we are in right now. Energy and tech were the worst performers of the week. Seems to be money rotating out of the tech sector a little bit here and into some of these other sectors. The 2-year and the 10-year were down. You can see here, I said up here, but it's actually down from 4.41 to 4.18, and even the 2-year was down. So a little bit of fear coming out of the treasury markets that interest rates are going to be pushed higher next year. Dollar was down because the yields were down, of course. And Bitcoin pulled back from that $100,000 level as I kind of expected here. It's trading around $97,000 right now, but we know that can change at any moment. So that was the week in review. So just taking a pause here, as always, like to do a quick plug for my books that are available on Amazon. Of course, this is a swing traded video, and these are some of the strategies that I use for swing trading. I cover in these 2 books, How to Swing Trade and Profiting as an Active Trader, so you can check those out. And also I've got an options trading book. My latest book came out and covers A to Z with options and also some day trading options if you're interested, but swing trading, day trading, all the strategies that you can use to trade options. So they are available on Amazon in all 3 forms, hard copy, audio, and e-version. So check those out. And let's get back and take a look at some indexes. Okay, so starting out by looking at some of our indexes that we watch from the previous week here, you can see we've broken this, solidly broken this downtrend on Monday as we broke out here right all through these moving averages. This is the TLT, long-term bond prices. So as bonds go up, price of bonds goes up, so the yield goes down. So yield coming off significantly here, and we seem to be even pushing higher on Friday. So maybe the market now not overly concerned about inflation as they were maybe 1 week ago. So interesting that we've broken out here. I'm sort of, it's sort of a wait and see thing because if some presidents will say something and maybe not follow through. So maybe some of the policies that'll come into effect next year won't be as inflationary as everybody initially thought. So we will have to see about that. That's just one of the things we just can't predict. As far as the dollar goes, of course, we've kind of rolled over with yields rolling over as well. So that's not surprising here. We could be coming back down into this 29.50 area for a bit of a gap fill. And of course, 29.40 is should be some support there anyway. As far as the Qs go, you can see here we're still struggling, still trying to break out to all-time highs, unlike some of the other indexes. And I've mentioned already, tech sector is struggling a little bit here. And as money is rotating into some of the other sectors, more growthy stuff. So you can see here we're still trying to break out. It does look like we might break out here Of course, sort of a break of this 500 level on the Qs would be a little bit of a concern, but I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think we're gonna continue to push higher here, back to that 515 prior high, and maybe see some resistance there. You see the SPY, we're breaking out here, really nothing to stop us from going higher here. Volume was a little light, but of course it was a shortened trading week, so not surprising at all. The Dow, same story, volume. So we're still grinding higher here, and probably will continue, as December is often a bullish month. And you can see here we're really struggling to break out on IWM. But I think as we continue to make these higher lows, every pullback is a higher low. We may eventually start to break out here. And of course, Bitcoin, take a quick look at Bitcoin, trading around 97,000 right now. So pulled back from this 100,000 push here, and not surprising, we got a bit of a pullback, probably a lot of sellers just waiting there. So that was Bitcoin, and that was your trades for the week on the indexes. And as far as current positions that we're in right now, first one, ARCG. This is a genomic ETF, and mentioned this actually came from the weekend video. That was on the watch list on the weekend video, so got in on Monday and have had a really nice run up here. I did sell some here on Friday as we pushed higher, and still holding a little bit here. Maybe we can get back up to the 27 level, but again, that was from last week's watch list. Jumped in there on Monday. TNA, still playing this to the long side. This is the ETF that tracks IWM. So it's a beta ETF, so you get more upside, but you also get more downside, so careful on that. XLV, this was one that I flagged a couple weeks ago, and I'm still in. And you can see here we've had a really nice bounce off this oversold condition, and this is really something that I really like to trade on a swing trade basis when things really get oversold. This was kind of the announcement when RFK was put, his name was put forward as, I think, as a health, and of course nobody kind of liked that idea, so sold off. But again, overreaction, and then traded it back up to the upside there. Utilities, same thing, kind of a pullback here, and I got back into it. Really like this higher low sort of strategy. This is something that I talk about in one of my swing trade books, or both of them. This pattern is set up a low, and then it'll be either a double bottom or a higher low. You can call it what you want, but it could even be an inverse head and shoulders here. But I really like the setup for this one to get long. HUT is just a ETF, or not an ETF, it's a company that's a Bitcoin miner, so of course long that. Still long IBT as well, still sticking with some of the Bitcoin trades. And TD trade, I've talked about this a number of times. This is an options strategy trade where I just I own some shares, and I just keep selling upside calls. So my upside calls just expired yesterday, the 29th. And on Monday, I will sell more upside calls around this sort of 57, 50, 60 area again. I just keep selling calls, collecting the premium. They're covered. If the TD does rip higher, then I'll get have to make a decision on what to do with the calls, but I won't lose money on them because I've got the position. And you can read about that in my options trading book. It's a covered call strategy. And that's it for what we got on tap right now in terms of sort of active swing trades. So as far as potential trades for next week, it's going to be a little bit challenging for me. I'm going to be, we're going to be doing some activities in Colombia in the afternoon. So I'm not going to be able to watch my positions and watch what's going on in the market. But I am still watching silver. So I'll be watching some of these anyway. I'm watching silver. You can see here it seems to be holding this 2750 level. So maybe we'll get a move back up on that. BABA looks kind of interesting to me. I know there's this threat of another 10% of tariffs, but with Musk being in the new president's ear, and depending a lot on these Chinese EV sales. Tesla, I'm thinking he may be a little bit easier on the Chinese situation. So you can see here, I'm just watching to see if we can break through some of these moving averages, and maybe might be worth taking a small position to start, since we do seem to be making a bit of a we've made a low, and now we've kind of made a bit of a higher low. So could be getting ready to break out. Of course, there's this trend line here we're coming up on as well. So maybe, like I said, not ready to go all in on it, but maybe partial. Nvidia had a nice little pullback last week. You can see here, tech sector a little bit under pressure, but we've come down to an area right now where I think there is probably some support. So I'll be watching Nvidia possibly for getting into a long position through end of the year. Amazon, looks like Amazon's getting ready to break out. Consumer discretionary doing quite well, and Amazon's looking ready to break this 208 level. Dave is one I had on my watch list, and I'm kicking myself because I did not get into this trade, and I don't know why. I just slipped off my desk here, and you can see here on Friday we had a $7.50 move on Friday, which again missed out on that trade. I really don't want to go chasing it up here. Maybe if it pulls back to sort of 90-91, I might think about it, but that was a miss. So that was it that's it for potentials for next week. Okay, so wrapping things up here for the week of December the 2nd. As I've mentioned earlier, we are going to be down in Colombia, a large number of our group, and trading from there, so should be lots of fun. And but you'll still be able to catch us live on YouTube, and of course in the moderating in the chat room. So you can see here, there's our levels on the Dow Q. We did push to new highs on the Dow and SPY last week. Q's still struggling a little bit to gain some ground there, and IWM pretty close to all-time high as well. So we continue to look like we're going to continue to grind higher here. As far as economic events go, we do have some interesting stuff coming up this week. A lot of employment data. Of course, the Fed is pretty focused on employment. So we got JOLTS, which is the job openings. We got the ADP employment report, and of course, end of the week employment reports and wages from the government, and consumer sentiment. So lots of interesting stuff to drive the markets this week. Interestingly, I didn't mention this, but the Fed Watch tool, CME Fed Watch tool, we are back up to about 66% chance of a rate cut in the coming week or two, when we're going to get the Fed's decision there. So I think that's on the 18th. So that'll be interesting to see how if these employment reports change that percentage. As far as earnings go, we've got a few here, but as you know, we're well through earnings season. So some stuff to watch there if you've got positions, and that's about it. So take care, everybody. Again, we'll be live on YouTube at 8 o'clock as usual, but you'll be seeing us in the balmy climate of Colombia, trading from there on Monday. Take care. We'll have a good weekend, and we'll catch you soon. Bye for now.